So I have now been crocheting for about 6 months, and I've made many different types of things, and I've gotten so much better at crochet, but I thought it would be fun to look back at everything that I've made over the past 6 months and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, keeping in mind how did I enjoy the project, what was the difficulty level, and do I still use and wear this project today. So keeping all that in mind, let me show you everything that I've ever crocheted. So the very first thing that I ever made was a granny square, and I made these 2 granny squares, and as you can see, they are extremely busted. I have used them for basically anything that I could use them for. I've put them on hot kettles, I put hot coffees on them, and I just use them to pick up hot things, and because they're made of acrylic yarn, they got ruined pretty quickly. But technically, I mean, they still serve their purpose, but they used to be much prettier. When I first started making a granny square, I actually felt like it was not a beginner-friendly project because I had never crocheted anything in my life, so I was just getting used to holding a hook and the yarn, and getting used to that, I felt like a granny square is actually kind of complicated for a beginner. And maybe that's a hot take of mine, but that's just what I feel like. I think that the easiest thing to start with is just something that you can repeat the same stitch over and over and build it out that way. So these were fun to make, and this is what really started me off with crochet and got me excited to make crochet items. So for that, I have to give them extra points because had I not started with these, I wouldn't be where I am. So I want to say I'm gonna rate these like a 4 out of 10 because look how busted they are. But you know, they're still getting used, so I can't give them a 0. So I'm also only including all of my finished whips that I've ever made, just anything that I have completed and I still have here that I didn't gift away to other people, nothing that wasn't completed. So the next thing that I actually completed was this. This is just like kind of like one of those winter headband things you put on, and I still actually think it's really cute. I haven't worn it a whole lot. I think I maybe wore it once or twice, but it turned out really big, and this was just completely free-handed. Once I learned how to do a double crochet, I just wanted to do something that just repeated that pattern over and over to get used to the stitches. That's exactly what I did with this. I think that the yarn choice, I don't know that I would choose this again. I just don't know if I like how it like stripes. It kind of gives a strange look. I definitely got used to doing the double crochet with this, and this is like using very thin yarn, so you can see how tiny those stitches are. I don't know if it's called fingering weight yarn, but just very thin yarn, and I made a lot of stitches for this, and I still think it's actually pretty cute. So I will give this a 6 out of 10. No, I'll give this a 5 out of 10. And this was also completely free-handed. So once I started learning how to do the double crochet, I just wanted to freehand everything and see what I could make. So the next thing I made was this purse, and it's just kind of like supposed to be like a phone bag. And I haven't used it in a really long time, but when I first crocheted it, I was very proud of it and I used it a lot. But I can see the sloppiness in there. Now that I'm looking back, I can see the inconsistencies and the tension, and I can see just things that I would do differently if I were to design something like this again. This little flower thing too was free-handed. I just was like, I'll just have fun with it, and it kind of crinkles up, but it's kind of cute though. Like, I still think it's got like a cute look to it, and it's still functional. So, but again, I think that this is something I could really improve upon if I were to just redo it and do it in a different style with different yarn. Yeah, if I made this today, it would have fewer gaps in here and mistakes. So with this, I will rate this a 4 out of 10. So this was in the winter time, and I had a lot of time on my hands, and I wanted to make hats and things that I could wear to keep me warm, and so that is when I entered the hat era and I started crocheting hats a lot. And this is actually the first completed hat that I ever made, and I still absolutely love this hat. I love the colors. My husband went to pick out some yarn for me, and he picked out this cool yarn, so I striped it with a gray. I thought they went really great together, and it's also a like slouchy winter hat. So let me put it on. I think this is really cool. I'm definitely still gonna wear this next year, and I can tell that after I had done those few projects before this, that I was really getting the hang of tension and understanding how to hold my hands a little bit better. And the quality of this, I knew right away this was a pretty good project. 9 out of 10. I'm gonna rate this a 9 out of 10. The entire time I was crocheting this, my husband was playing D&D and I was just listening to that in the background. So it was a fun experience to just be working on this and to be listening to the story. That whole experience was a lot of fun, which adds to it, I think. And if you are a crocheter or a knitter, you probably have that too, where the thing that you were listening to or doing during the time that you were working on the project kind of gets imprinted on the project, and it makes you think about that, and it kind of brings up those memories. So that's something really cool about crochet that I like. Yeah, this one a 9 out of 10. After that, I got some really funky yarn at Daiso, and I had an idea to make like a Halloween themed thing. And so I decided to make this Halloween themed cat hat, and I followed a tutorial on YouTube to make this, and it looks so goofy, but I love it. There was only one issue that I have with this hat, and that is if you are a crocheter, you'll be able to spot the issue, but if you aren't, you probably won't notice it. But it's like right here, there's like an inconsistency in the stitching. I think it is, yeah, it's supposed to be like every other stitch, but I put two together on one part, and that bothers the heck out of me. Like, that bothers me so much, even though nobody knows it, but I know it. So I would wear this hat backwards, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, this, and it actually is really cute. Like, it definitely will make you stand out if you wear this outside. If I'm just like feeling up to it, I wear this hat in the winter. What do you think about this yarn? It makes me feel like, it reminds me of just like candy corn and Trick or Treat and those like old 90s McDonald's toys that had this exact same coloring. That's what I think about. So it makes me happy, and plus Halloween is my favorite holiday. So I would give this, because of the inconsistency, I have to take off of it, and because it's not something that I feel like I want to wear every day, I would take off of that as well, just a little bit, because I don't want to wear this every single day. I can rate this a 6 out of 10. Now, moving on in the hat era, I made this other slouchy hat that I wanted it to be a little bit more airy, and I followed another tutorial. I will link the YouTube channel that I used. I think it's called Little John's Yarn. I will link the channel so you can go through their videos, but I was really happy with this one as well. Let me put this on. Well, I think this one turned out cute. It was kind of supposed to be for like late winter, early spring, if you want to put something on your head. And when I was like in my early 20s, I wore slouchy hats everywhere all the time. And I remembered how much I loved those slouchy hats that had like holes in them, and they kind of just like sat on your head so nicely. And it was kind of like the hipster look is to wear one of those things. I used to love those, and I was like, I'll just make one, why not? And I like the colors on this one actually. I don't think there are any mistakes in it either. So I will rate this a 7.5 out of 10. So moving along, I got some beautiful yarn from Osaka, and I made this winter scarf with it. Let me show you. This is another tutorial. Almost everything that I have made that I was learning to crochet with have been from like YouTube tutorials or blogs. Like, you can really learn almost anything that you want to on YouTube. I'll link this tutorial as well. The only thing that I have a problem with this is I wasn't great with the buttons. So what I actually want to do is take the buttons off and just turn this into a full infinity scarf and just get rid of the buttons. I think that would make it look a little bit better, because just the way that it closes is not quite working for me. And I could reuse these buttons for something else, but here's what it looks like on. I think this is called a cowl. The colors on it are really pretty. It's wool. It feels very soft, and I really like the way that the mesh looks on that. And I'll definitely wear this in the winter. So I actually want to rate this one like a an 8 out of 10 because of the buttons that I want to take off. There's still things that I need to do with it, but 8 out of 10. We are getting into when I started getting obsessed with making clothing. And the very first shirt that I actually ever made is the one that I'm wearing right now. It was a very simple tutorial to follow, and there were parts of it that were challenging at the very beginning, but once I got used to it, it was actually so easy and such a great tutorial. I will link the creator who made this tutorial as well. Here's the front. It's split in half, so blue on top and yellow on bottom, but then you turn around and it's opposite. I just learned the hard way that I should not turn around when there is a microphone attached to me, so I'm not gonna fully turn around, but you can see this shirt is split into different color quadrants, and I love that about it. I kind of felt like it had like a medievally feel to it, and I thought it was really cool. And it's one of my shirts that I actually wear all the time. It's made of acrylic yarn, and so that kind of surprised me. I kind of thought that like, oh, once I make more stuff, I'm gonna stop wearing this as often. But what I found is this yarn is surprisingly durable. It's very soft. I steamed it a ton, and I feel like because it's made of such cheap materials, if something happens to it, then it's fine and I can just make a new one. So that's something that I think about now is, if I think of something as like almost really precious or too precious, that I won't wear it as much because I'm afraid of ruining it. But with this, I'm like, I know I can redo it. But I guess with anything in crochet, no matter what happens, I could always buy the materials and make a new one. And I think that's pretty awesome because you don't really get that with things that you buy. Like you could buy a new one, but I feel like it's gonna feel like more of a loss. But with this, I just wear it all the time. I wear it out in the hot sun when I'm sweating, whatever happens. And also, maybe because of this synthetic material, it just feels like sweat just kind of like drips off of it. It doesn't get soaked in. So I'm not advocating for just like using that for everything, but I will say that if you use really cheap materials on some of your stuff, you might actually get a lot of use out of it for if you want to wear your crochet items, but you want to be out in the hot sun or be somewhere where you're sweating, it's okay to do that. Because I'm literally wearing this right now, I have to rate this like a 9.5 out of 10. It was really fun to make. The tutorial was very easy to follow, and it was the very first shirt I made, and I'm still very happy with it. So a 9.5 out of 10 for this shirt. I made a matching headband with this, which I don't get much use out of, but is pretty cute. I actually kind of think it looks cuter around the neck for some reason. Like, can you imagine if you were wearing like a black denim jacket? I know that's really specific, but I feel like this would be really cute with like a denim jacket or like something like that, and you're just wearing it around your neck, because I think that could be really cute. But I don't wear it on the head so much because I feel like it matches almost too much with this. But if that's what you're looking for, then I say go for it. I mean, I'll rate this scarf like a 4 out of 10. Moving along, I sort of semi-followed a tutorial, but I took it into my own hands and I made this kind of crazy top thing that whenever I first made it, I really loved it because it kind of looked like a fairy top. Even though it's very thick, like if you look at that, I just was using the materials that I had on hand. Like I didn't have specific things that I was looking for, so I just pulled colors that I really liked at the time. But it's very, very thick, and the way that it's shaped is not quite perfect for my body either. Either way, it's always had a weird shape to it. It's always kind of bubbled out in the chest area, but it doesn't matter because I did enjoy it and I do feel like I learned a lot. This is where I learned how to do increasing and decreasing in the rows of crochet and how you can shape things like that, make curved edges and shape it sort of a little bit differently rather than just doing like a straight line. So I learned a lot during this as well, but I don't wear this. With all that, I think that I have to rate this a 5 out of 10 for this one. And then after that, I decided to make some matching headbands, which I actually were a lot of fun and super easy to make. I actually have a little tutorial here on YouTube for how to make these little headbands. I haven't worn them in a little bit, but I probably would still wear them. I just think it's a great thing for scrap busting and to use up some of that yarn you don't know what to do with. You can always use more headbands, and it's very simple and easy to make. With these, I will say 8 out of 10 is what I rate these. So after all that, I really wanted to continue making clothing and shirts and just experimenting with how I could make clothing fit me better and just get better at doing it in general. And because I loved that first mesh shirt that I made, I decided to make another one, but with higher quality materials. So this is 100% wool. And I made this little kind of shirt vest sort of thing, and I really love this one. I also do feel like I can just wear this in the sun, though I will say the armpits do start pilling a little bit, which that doesn't happen on this one, because the armpits are so low, but even with that pilling, you can kind of just clip it with some scissors and it's just fine, and no one's actually going to see the armpit area anyways. So I love the color choices I made for this. It goes with a lot of the things that I have, like my skirts and my jewelry. So because I do really like this one, I will say I want to rate this one like a 9 out of 10. Now I just want to show you the headbands that I've made. This one I made I really like the color of it, and it has a glitter in it. So I think that is really cool. And you may not be able to see it right now so much, but you can really see it when it's really bright outside and you're outside and the sun is shining on it. You can see it. But I still wear this bandana, and because I was working on it while I was traveling, I always enjoyed doing that. It's a good experience. So I think because of that, I will rate this a 9 out of 10. I want to say because I had to add a little extra length onto this, so it looks maybe a little wonky there, but 9 out of 10 because I still use it. Now, on my last travels, while I was riding the Shinkansen, I made this bandana, and basically every bit of time that I worked on it, I was on the train, and it was a perfect way to pass the time. I had the perfect amount of space for it. There's no mistakes in it. The drawstrings are the perfect length as well, and they're really easy to tie, and I think it's really cute. I've gotten compliments on this one. I'm gonna rate this one, I'll rate it a 10 out of 10. I gotta give one a 10 out of 10, so I'll give that to this one. I really have no problems with it, and I think it's really cute. The most recent piece of clothing that I made has been this shirt, and this is my ultimate all-time favorite. It's using this beautiful Noro yarn that has so many colors in it, and I could just really look at it forever. It's got just beautiful colors. And both sides are different, very different. And I kind of paired it with an unlikely color choice, which I also really like. And it looks good when I'm wearing army green skirt with it or army green pants. It ties it all in and looks so cute. I have no complaints about this. I think you're seeing it inside out. Hold on, let me turn it right side out. Another thing about this is I only followed the tutorial that I had followed for the first couple rows, and once I got used to that, I basically threw the tutorial out. I said I want to challenge myself. I want to try to do this on my own for the rest of the shirt, and I did, and I'm very proud of that because it's my favorite thing. It's one of my favorite shirts ever. 10.5 out of 10 for this one. I made a matching headband to go with that shirt, and I wear this one probably the most out of anything so far because it's so versatile. So another 10 out of 10 is just double crochets. You can wear it with anything really. I mean, as long as it matches. So 10 out of 10. This was a little bit of an experiment that I just recently did, which is I found this really thin yarn that I have. It's like crazy thin, but it's very beautiful. Just scrap yarn that I had laying around, and I just made a foundation chain, and I just kept going and making it super long because I was just thinking, what if I made like a wrap headband out of it? And so that's exactly what I did, and it turned out better than I thought it would turn out. I thought maybe, I don't know, I didn't know how it would look, but I can't really do it right now, but whenever I wrap this around my head several times, it has kind of a fantasy feel. I think it's really pretty, and I have a reel of actually how this looks whenever it's like styled nicely, so you can check that out, but I love it. 10 out of 10 for this one. we're getting to the very end of all of my projects, but I do have kind of a surprise secret at the very end. I want to show you something that I'm working on that I'm so excited about and that is going to be amazing, I think. I think you will love it. I got a pom-pom maker recently and I went a little bit ham making a couple pom-poms. These were fun. I think I will use this in the winter and make some cute pom-pom hats and maybe some like pom-pom bunting decor. I gotta say 9.5 out of 10 because this one wasn't perfect, but I mean, it doesn't really matter to me. It was just an experiment. I would highly recommend making pom-poms if you haven't before and if you really want to just get into something fun and new. Highly recommend. It turns out that that is also a tassel maker, so I made this tassel. Something about this coloring, and let me know if you feel the same way, gives me like 90s couch vibes. I can't really explain further what I mean, but like, you know those couches in the 90s that have this like kind of maroon and gold? Like I think I had one like that growing up where it was like maroon and gold and they just had a fancy like feel to them. It's kind of what it reminds me of. It also kind of reminds me of like a magic carpet. Just like, I know there's a really weird, obscure things I'm bringing up, but you know, if you know, you understand what I'm trying to say. It's kind of 90s looking to me. I completely forgot to show you this granny square purse that I made. Maybe you can tell the further along I got with creating things, the more I really started loving them and using them a lot more. I ended up making the willow granny square with different types of yarn. They're all cotton, but they're just different weights of yarn and really pretty yarn to put together. So I made 2 different ones and I decided to just make a bag out of that. And inside of the bag, it is lined with like t-shirt material from an old shirt that I had. I was really happy with all of how this turned out. I just had to like reinforce the straps a little bit because this is, I believe the strap is made of acrylic yarn, so it felt a little bit stretchy, so I reinforced with a few single crochets here, and I think since then it's definitely gotten stronger. And then I made a tassel to go on the zipper. I think that really just tops it all off and makes it beautiful. And I kind of save this purse for like when I'm dressed up or when I'm traveling and I want to wear an outfit that goes with this because I don't want this to get crazy beaten up. I really like it. So I use this for kind of special occasions a little bit. This is future Allison here. I forgot to tell you that I made these socks, but they were drying, so I completely forgot about them. Don't judge them by how they look now because they're wet, but I love these socks. So I think I'll rate these an 8 out of 10 because there's a few inconsistencies in the socks, but overall I love wearing them and I really like them. So I have to take a few points off for that, but for my first time making socks, I think I did pretty good. So 8 out of 10 for these. I believe that is everything that I have ever crocheted that I have completed and kept and not given away in the past 6 months. Is that a lot of projects? I don't know. Compared to other people, I'm always curious like how many projects people are making, but to me it feels like a lot. I feel like I've made so much, and I'm really glad that I just have had the time to continue working on this skill and just continue getting better. I can see from beginning to where I am now just how much more I like what I'm making, and I'm a little bit pickier with what I am deciding to make. I'm not just like, oh, I'll make whatever. Well, sometimes I am, because sometimes you have to, but I'm just really liking my projects a lot more now. So, oh, I also kind of forgot, literally last night I just made some granny squares because I had not made granny squares since the very beginning. So I just sat down, I made some granny squares with some scrap yarn. I'm not sure what I'm gonna make with these, but let me know if you think of anything. Let me know if anything would look good with these colors, because I'm still debating it. I thought about making like a little small purse, but we'll see. We'll see what I do with that. So as promised, I want to show you a sneak peek of something that I've been working on that I am the most excited about. Out of everything that I've ever made, I'm so excited about this. And that is my very own designed crocheted wearable piece that I'm working on. Okay, so I made a little swatch. It's got some of the stitches that I'm going to use in my design. I was just practicing what I liked and thinking about what would be best for the design, I've done a lot of sketches, and my inspiration is I want to make a really versatile gothic style top that has like a beautiful elegance to it, that has these beautiful kind of vampire-y Victorian style stitching, but has a gothic vibe to it. You could layer a shirt under it and like wear it to work, or you could make it really fancy and really whatever you want to do with it, dress it up or down. I just wanted something with like an elegant gothic look to it. That's my inspiration. I'm really inspired by the color palette of this. It makes me think of My Chemical Romance. It makes me think of the Phantom of the Opera and just all of those like dark fantasy vibes, those even punk vibes. You could make it punk feeling. There's so many different sort of ways that you could style this, and the way that I want to make it is just I want people to be able to wear it and make it their own. Yes, so I will be making a video showing the process of how I'm going to put this together, what it's going to look like, and at the very end I'm going to have a reveal. I'm hoping that I can also write a pattern for other people to also be able to make it as well. If that is something that you would be excited to see the process of, definitely subscribe and you can look forward to that coming very soon. And here, let me just also give you like a little peek of the yarn. Look how beautiful. This red is just such like a crimson-y red. It's very vampire-y, and I can't wait to style this and do like a fun reveal for that. And just, I'm so excited. This is my true style, by the way. Like, no matter what I'm wearing, all of my clothing may look different, may have different colors, but like deep in my soul, I'm actually always goth. Like, that's just who I am. So that's why I'm amped about this. I hope you had fun seeing all of the things that I've made so far and that you have some inspiration. If you're a new crocheter, definitely just make as many things as you can that you want to make. Like, don't be afraid or intimidated by big projects that seem scary. I would say just tackle them. Do whatever you feel like seems fun and just take it one step at a time. Before you know it, you're gonna have way too many projects and you're not gonna know what to do with them. With all that, I will leave you and have a great rest of your day.